Hello, low, 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 low. We cabbages. Yeah, that's what he says. Not she says. He says. Expand the family tree a bit. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit more of this and that. Just small expansions. Haven't worked on the purple family tree since, but shh. Trip routes, the same. Same old. I think I'm going to be utilizing them in the future. I hope that I'm still utilizing in the future. Let's be better. Words of advice. Yeah. So, yeah, we have a date happening. And then, my tongue, I just bit my tongue. We also got some new trade routes. If we take this off, we got run right here, connecting this to the Orange Gym City, and then kind of a small network here, connecting here, and here, connecting different cities. That's all. So let's just go in here and merge this down. There we go. On the same layer. Meanwhile, the purple team. I'm just kind of showing this to show that they do it like kind of after, I guess. Purple team expands their trade route here to expand to this major city, and then into this major city. They're thinking, about like expanding it further, trying to connect up and all that to the other trade routes, but right now they're staying kind of semi-isolationist, I guess. But they also have a trade route. Let me zoom in more. Trade route down here, going around here. So a lot of trade routes are being built, which basically just means a lot of roads. Like the kings are building roads, and these would happen slower. They wouldn't happen all at once, but they would happen, pretty well. Then of course, you always gotta have the forking paths. They're actually gonna try to connect up this area with this area, or these two cities. And also connect up this city into the network. So yeah, they're adding a lot of like branching paths because, give you options. So they have kind of like the Silk Roads. Like a lot of people think the Silk Road is like a single thing, but no, it's actually multiple like branching paths that kind of split off and rejoin and connect and go through the mountains. Like, we can have a path that branches off here and goes to this city, and then goes through here and here, and then connects back in there. So like shortcuts and all that. Just go into different cities. So making some new trade routes around here. The Rose team decides to make their first trade route, going from here down and around, and then just connecting up to their capital, and that's it. Very short trade route, but it's kind of like how the yellow and dark blue teams are, just making their own kind of trade route system because, what else are they gonna do? What else they gonna do? What else they gonna do? Then, yes, so Orange team decides, because they changed their capital partially because of the war, which is now an older war, but it's still kind of affecting some of the country, especially the dark blue team, cough, cough, cough. But they feel like, we kind of moved that capital. They moved their capital to the 4th most populated city, so like, that feels weird, wrong. So they're actually going to move it to their most populated city, and also the city, kind of has a trade route going through there. So let's just boom, and there we go. And there we go, and then there we go. So now they have the capital and a very good place, in between, very centrally located capital, so I think it's a better placement of their capital. Capitan. Yeah. So, so yeah, I keep on saying yeah, because I don't know why, so yeah. These guys, I have not done anything with a hot minute. If it can happen to the mint team, it can happen to the best of us. Well, the thing is, they're just not interested enough to care about. The lore is that they're gonna be like, basically, like a nomadic people. Like, they're basically nomads, that are here, just a group of, you know, nomads. So we have right. Oh wait, I'm stupid. There we go. And then let's just they're like there, but they're just nomadic people. So not important enough to draw on a map. Ooh, that looks so much better. A lot more concentrated. Yeah, no, that was definitely just a ploy to make it look better, but so, the yellow leader, we look at a religious map, the religious map, not a religious map. There's mainly, blue team religion, like, in the yellow team, but there's been, like, a pocket of red religion that's been, like, spreading amongst the capital, mainly a bunch of, like, nobles and, like, people, like, start to think, what if we converted to the other religion? Especially just movement of red religion at the capital. So much so that the king actually says, yeah, our official religion is the red religion, which annoys so many people from the orange religion. Their stability, I wrote this down, stability would be red, but they don't really have a stability. And the king goes like, you know what, let's conquest for this new religion, because they want to prove themselves, and they think they're strong enough to go up against the blue team. Are they right? Only one would have found out. So they go up here and basically go like, you know what, nah, let's just like trade routes, we don't want to connect you. So they actually just basically start removing the trade route here. The city looks very hard to spot. Where's the city? Start to basically remove the trade routes and say, hey, yeah, no. Move the trade routes and basically expanding into here. And, you know, they even start building a trade route behind them to say, hey, before the war even ended, I mean, I guess it's to resupply troops as they're building it there. They're like, so the war's actually kind of going slow for them because they're kind of restocking troops like this. So they build it to the city to restock the troops. Restock the troops here. And, well, they thought that with the supplies they can hold them off. But, you know, what happens is they kind of launch counteroffensive into here. Taking this area, because they're like, hey, you can't just get away with any old thing. So they launch into here. They don't destroy their trade routes because, well, I guess they're just nicer. And, well, we kind of have them, you know, forming like a little city switch here. And, well, they're like, you know, they kind of come at a stalemate, and they're like, there's two options here. They could just go back to the original borders, or they could, well, you know, just keep that city switch. The blue team's kind of mad because they don't know how they're getting away from this. Before they can finally think about this, well, their other rival, the dark blue team, is like, because, you know, they kind of broke away from them. It's like, you know what? Nah, they can't just get away with this. So they have them, them invading into here and basically saying, nah, this here land, land, And they're like, oh no, which causes them to retract troops from here. They kind of have to retract troops. And they lose control of the city again. And now they realize they're kind of collapsing. That this area was never really much of a good idea. Just to say in general. Whew. Yeah, no, not really much of a good idea. But, I mean, you know, as much as, you know, they basically almost completely take him over. Going through here, taking this city over, the blue team also taking over here and here. Until, you know, they finally get to the capital region, which they managed to kind of hold off. And they're like, please, just let us live. We didn't know the consequences would be this dire and gravy. So yeah, they do let them live, which is, you know, good for them, but, yeah. And, well, most of the time, there's no trade routes between the blue team and the dark blue team as is, because they're, not the most friends with each other, but they're kind of like regrowing relationships, because actually, I mean, slowly, but they actually decide, you know, let's connect that back up, and let's have a little trade right here. They think they might have offered the yellow team to maybe help them, but the yellow team themselves is like, no, we don't want you. So yeah, we have a weird horseshoe trade route going through the dark blue team to go back into the blue team. This trade route is weird to people that don't know, but people who know. And they decide, you know, the blue team kind of wants to take it back down, and then just basically head this towards their capital. So they have a new way to link up. So yeah, we have a new trade route going to the capital. A little weird boomerang shape. Are they Australian or something? Are they Australian? It's not even that much of a boomerang. But boomerang. Oh, hey. But the dark blue team, something crazy happens. So basically everywhere here's a monarchy, or maybe sometimes dictatorship, like the dark blue team was. Not a dictatorship anymore. But you know, actually after that war they lost, the yellow team's a dictatorship. I'm calling it yellow team's dictatorship. But the dark blue team actually becomes the world's first democracy, turning around from being dictatorship, like, you know, and like last war, like 20-30 years ago maybe, to being a democracy, because the people basically went, we're overthrowing the government, because, well, they didn't really, not much of government, it's just, they just didn't like the, you know, their leader. So, yeah, they killed the guy. Their, you know, grandson basically does a thing where they go to power for like, they get to power for like, you know, for like 2 months until they're just completely just like taken over. Like, please spare my life, I don't know, I'm just not part of this. So they're alive, but like no real power. Short little break for that. Yeah, so Dark Blue Team, I don't have a layered show ideology, but they're the first democracy, and with this democracy, they elect a new ruler. They elect, well, you know, one of their old military generals, like, known for their cunning skill, and also their humanitarian kindness. So with this, they actually, you know, say, you see this trade route that goes through us? Yeah, let's link that up, because I want to be open to trade, because they realize, well, you know, there's some nationalists still left in the country that don't want to be open to trade, but, like, being open to trade is just best for long-term prosperity, because it, you know, helps trade. So they also connect to the Cyan team over here, and they allow them to basically go, like, here, connect up there. So, yeah, we got a bigger trading arrangement forming with the Dark Blue team, so that's good, because before, you would basically, if you went from, like, here, and then you wanted to go like here, you would have to go like all the way around, down here, through here, up here, and around there. But now you just kind of have to go straight through here, so that's actually pretty nice. good for the dark blue team. The purple team is still kind of cut off because they've decided to be. They've been thinking about integration of the trade routes because, like, you know, it would be better for their economy, but they haven't really done anything on it yet. Meanwhile, the orange team is actually building a trade route here towards the purple team border, which would be very nice to be integrated if it ever needed to be. Not yet, though. The yellow team has no trade routes because they only really have one city, which is their capital. Poor for the yellow team, but they really brought it on themselves. They're the one that attacked first, so I don't know. This is really their fault, but yeah, to each their own. They blamed, the dark blue team for being too, like, democracy. Ooh. Yeah, basically, they blame them, because of course they can. The blue team, remember how they had a famine last episode? You might not. They did. The blue team had a famine last episode. So they're basically making better farming practices, which actually helps them, like, grow faster than other countries. So they went from having a famine to, in a couple years, like, not yet, maybe in 5 years, to farming well enough that they're actually having a population boom. Like, not boom, but, like, they're going, like, maybe 30% faster than, like, the dark blue team or something like that. So they're actually going pretty fast now, so good for the blue team. You know, be good for soldiers in upcoming wars. I don't know. Like, that's how where my brain goes, soldiers. Yes, because that's what we need out of. So the Golden Union versus the Golden Empire. The two leaders kind of have a little bit of a squabble because they're, like, not used to, having, like, a diarchy where they basically both have to agree to pass something. So, it's definitely an experiment right now, but so far it's kind of working. I mean, there's some parts that are, like, not the best. But right now they're basically officially used as a, two capital solution to a diarchy. There's propositions of, like, having them kind of be Austro-Hungary thing, but right now they're just deciding that I guess it works as is. So yeah, it's just working as is for them, but because they're kind of united now, they want to expand together. Basically, there's also a way to show off, like, hey, we can work together, our army can work together, expand into lands. They're expanding slowly because they already know that, expanding too quick can be bad. Also, them having a little squabble, that's best for them. Also, technically they're on two separate wavelengths. We have a yellow and a green, so I'm gonna make them both yellow because that's really what they are right now. They're trying to do something to help, it's easier said than done. Really gotta make these borders look better borders. Yeah, let's just cut in a bit. Cut in. Probably like that. Anyways. Like, don't mind me. I'm just fixing up these borders because they look kind of bad. Because who made them? Oh, I made them. I make bad borders. Now, the Golden Union's officially 11,053 pixels. All that to grow by 53 pixels. Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess. The rose team is going to expand by more than 53 pixels. They're going to expand around here. And expand to here, down here. And this light blue team, pale blue team, expand along the coast here. Because the rose team and the light blue team are actually in cahoots, and they're thinking of setting up a trade route in between them. Well, this would be, the biggest trade route in either of the teams, because rose team has a trade route right now, but it's very small. And this trade route is basically, it's starting as a work in progress, because, neither of them are really good at making trade routes, because, well, rose team has a small trade route, but it's small, and the light blue team has none, so they're kind of expanding trade down here, And they are expanding from their capital up here because they decided, you know, it would benefit of both because, you know, Rose team wants trade partners and the light blue team, you know, just wants someone to trade with because, you know, they're like a bit out there and they want to connect themselves back. So yeah, they're both working on the trade route, not quite done yet, but yeah, good for them. Good for them, I guess. Creating their own trading network, as they say. Although we have one big network here, and they're kind of creating their own networks. It's just how trade works in this day and age. Danish. I love Danishes. I love Danishes. What am I on? Yeah, so a lot of trade routes, a lot of, you know, trade and treachery. I don't know what I'm gonna name this episode. I always make them up on the fly, like as I'm, you know, releasing the episode. But anyways, that's all, and yeah, goodbye, my cabbages.